Hey guys, it's Solbyte, and today I'm going to be going over encapsulation in object-oriented programming, or in classes. So encapsulation is a way of defining our classes where we make these members, these attributes here, this data, inaccessible from outside of the class itself. This is for the reasons of, like data integrity, consistency, security. There's many different reasons to do this. A lot of complexity can be avoided as well. It makes the code a little bit more readable. It makes bugs easier to kind of find. And, overall, there is just a multitude of different reasons why encapsulation exists. So what exactly is encapsulation? So, or I guess what is more so like, how do we do it? So the thing that we're going to do is we are going to make these members of the user class private, and then we're going to add two different methods that allow us, two different methods for each member that will allow us to access the value of the member, and one to mutate the value of the member. So let's go ahead and kind of show that really quickly. So in case you guys forgot, I'm using an access modifier here, private. This will make it where our name and age variables will be hidden outside of the class. So I'll show a little example here really quick. So as you can see, if I go down here to the main function and I try to, I just try to get the name of user one, get a red line because the name member is inaccessible. So, however, if you have a keen eye, you can tell, or you can see that here in the print info method, we are definitely able to access the name. That is because obviously, we are in the class. This is the class, sort of definition where we are defining the methods and members of the class. So the method can access the info. So even if we actually have these values private, I can actually show you guys, if we go to the terminal here, I can show you guys that we can very clearly still see these members, even if the values are now private. So as you can see, we get NA and -1. That's because we're using the default constructor, which I went over in my last video, if you guys want to go check that out. So we can still see these values despite them being private. So that's a very good thing because this allows us to kind of be able to hide the values directly in the object, but still be able to access the values and modify them using the accessor and mutator methods. So let's go ahead and show some examples of these. So first we'll do the accessor method, which I do want to kind of go ahead and fix this. These are more commonly referred to as getter and setter methods. My professor always called them accessor and mutator, so I've always kind of called them that, but I think this is the more common phrasing for these types of methods, so I'm going to try to stick to getter and setter. So let's go ahead and create a getter method for, let's say, name. Let's do the name. So we'll do, let's see, we want to return a string because we are getting the name of the object. So let's do the return type string, and then we'll do get name. So this will be a method that will allow us to access the name, and we'll simply just do return name. So this method will now return whatever the name value is here in private. So let's go ahead and just kind of show a little example of that really quick. We'll go down here to user one, and as you can see, get name is public. We can access it, we can use it. So this will now return the name. So if we wanted to, just a little quick example, if we wanted to do, if we just wanted to print the name of our user1, we can just kind of use something like this. I'm going to comment out this, that way it's a little bit more readable whenever we compile this here. So let me go ahead and compile this. I guess I can just do this. Nope, not that. There we go. So yeah, now if I just go ahead and execute that, we get the name. So perfect. We can still access the name of the user1 object without actually directly accessing that value. So that's very good. That's very good for, ensuring that data is protected and consistent as well. So let's go ahead and do a setter method now. This one will be a void because we don't really need to return anything. We're just modifying the name instead of returning it. So we'll just go ahead and do set name. And then we need to define what parameter we want to change the name to. So let's just do string name, same thing we did here in the constructor. And then we will set the name member to the parameter name. So now let's go ahead and do user1 set name. And right now it's NA, so let's go ahead and change it to my name. And let's go ahead and run this code and see what we can get from it. As we can see, Solbyte pops up. It's perfect. All right, perfect. And of course, usually we want to create a getter and a setter for all of our members. I mean, there will be some instances where maybe you wouldn't want to do that, but here we will kind of do something very similar. That way we can be able to see the age as well. So let's go ahead and do int get age, and we'll just kind of do the exact same thing. And then down here, let's go ahead and create a setter for the age as well. That way we can change the age to whatever value we would like to. So let's do age equals the parameter age. And now down here, let's go ahead and copy this, and we'll do get age instead. And let's go ahead and change the age to, let's see, how old do I want to be? Let's say I want to be 99 years old. Let's do that. So now let's go ahead and run this code and see what we can get from it. And Solbyte 99. Perfect. All right, so that's a very basic run through of encapsulation. Like I said, it's a very handy feature and something that is really good for readability, data integrity, security. It's better to not allow anything outside of the class to be able to directly access these values. We don't want any weird consequences happening from some weird, functionality later on in the project. So it's usually a very good rule of thumb to create getters and setters as methods to be able to modify the data in our main function. So yeah, that's about it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comments. If you guys have any other further questions, please let me know. And thank you for watching.